Hi everybody, Michael Padone here, President and CEO of SalesBuzz.com, and today I want to talk about what happens when your prospect asks you, how much is it? What's the cost? You see, last week I was on-site with one of our clients, and I was listening to one of the sales reps they were in their presentation phase of the sales cycle, and right in the middle of it, the prospect asked them, how much is it? What's the cost? Now, when I was early on in my sales career, and I was going through training, what have you, I was taught that, hey, that's a buying signal. Start to go for a close. And okay, so that's what I did. And yeah, I would close some of them. But a lot of times too, that's not a buying signal. So what do you do? Now, let me finish telling you what happened with this to prove my point. Let me tell you what happened. So the salesperson was going through their presentation. They go ahead. The prospect says, "Oh, how much is it? What's the cost of this?" And the salesperson immediately pulled out the price sheet and said, "Well, for a single user is this, for 3 users this, and if you want a network 5 user, et cetera, the price is going to be this." And then what happened next was, "Okay, so you want me to follow up with you in a few months? Okay, great. I'll mark that down. And do you want me to go ahead and send you out some information?" "Oh, you do? Okay, great. I'll send the information out." "All right, sounds good. Thanks." And now the salesperson, is thinking that they have some pipeline built up. But no, they don't. And now here's how to avoid that scenario. But before we get into that, let's break this down. What actually happened here? The prospect asked, "How much is it?" And then the salesperson immediately started to tell them. Well, who's in control of that sale at that point? It's not the salesperson. The prospect's in control. The prospect asks a question and changed the direction and threw the salesperson off their sales process. See, sales is a process, okay? Do this before you do that. And the reason why so many salespeople are having a hard time today, it's not so much the economy, it's because they don't understand that there is a sales process to follow. And they didn't have to follow it when there was money flying out the window. Okay, but now that the cupboards are bare, only the really good salespeople are the ones that are hanging on and making quota right now. You can be making quota too if you start to learn the sales process, and don't be sidetracked by when a prospect asks you in the middle of your presentation, how much is it? Now, it could be a buying signal, but the thing is you don't know. So here's what I want you to do the next time this happens. You're in the middle of your presentation, out of left field, the prospect says, "Well, how much is this?" I know, first of all, personally, I would, depending on the type of sale that you have, depending on how large of the sale it is, I probably would have wanted to pre-qualify on price before I got into the presentation, but that's a whole nother lesson plan. But let's assume for a second it wasn't needed, or it wasn't, you forgot, or what have you. So you're in the middle of the presentation, the prospects ask, well, how much is it? What's this going to cost? Before you jump right in there and start unleashing pricing, here's what I want you to ask. Mr. Prospect, let me ask you this. So what you're doing is you're taking control back right away. Let me ask you this. Do you know enough about our product or service to know that this is exactly what you're looking for and it's going to help you solve, and then mention the pain points that you found earlier, and that if the price is right, you're ready to move forward? That's what I want you to. So let me say it without all the interruptions I put in there. Mr. Prospect, let me ask you a quick question. Do you know enough about our product or service to know that this is exactly what you're looking for, and that if the price is right, you're ready to go ahead and move forward? If you get a yes, you had a buying signal. Now it's time to move forward and close. If you don't get a yes, or you get a hem-haw, or a maybe, or possibly, or we're not sure, that means you're not ready for the price yet. The prospect isn't ready for the pricing, and divulging the pricing, getting into pricing, is more than likely going to end into a quick end of that sales call, and you with not a sale. Now, I'm not saying to not tell them what the price is, but you have to understand where you are and have to classify the question that's coming. Is this a buying signal or not? And the question I just gave you to ask is a great way to go ahead and determine, was this a buying signal or not? And if not, how to handle it. Okay, and actually what we're doing now, the question I gave you is just to show you how to determine what type of question it is, and how to handle it if it's not a buying signal is a totally different training session, something that we go into on our weekly workshops that we do here at SalesBuzz.com. But for now, I just want to go ahead and give you that little tidbit of advice. Next time you're in the middle of your presentation and a prospect asks you how much it is, don't assume it's a buying signal, okay? Don't discount it as that it's not one. What I want you to do is ask them, let me ask you, Mr. Prospect, Do you know enough about our product or service to determine that if the price is right, you're ready to move forward? And if the answer is no to that, it's not time for price. Okay? Thanks, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us at salesbuzz.com. Take care.